Well, howdy folks. Today we're trying something entirely new. We are going to use my TG tracker, and you can get some idea of what I look like, I reckon. So anyway, we're off on an adventure. We've got a hike to do early this morning before it gets hot out in the desert. And then I'll go back to my gas station in Ocotillo, California, and then head southeast on the 98, which goes down by the border into hay country. And so that's the idea for today. And it's a beautiful day, pretty cool here. It's about 65. It's going to get up to maybe 95 out in the desert later this afternoon. But so far, we'll see where we're going, and I'll catch you on the next segment. Well, they're tarring the place, but I was the only smart guy that pulled around. I had free opening. There's a whole line of people trying to get gas. Anyway, here we are. We got our petrol, and we are heading that way, which is, I reckon, to be north. Well, we can see what the car says, and the car says north. So this is due north. So the next time I see you, it's going to be out at the old favorite hiking trail, and I'll see you then. Holy mackerel, it looks like a windmill fell over. I am gonna have to go check that out. Wow, it's all crumpled. I thought somebody had a blow-up balloon out there. Look at that. Wow. You want to see it? Okay. Let's go check it out. This is something you don't see every day. Fatigue. Oh man. It broke right down. There's all kinds of people out here too. So look at that. Total mechanical failure for sure. Wow. I would like to go up there and check it out, but there's a security guard here. There's the turbine, which usually sits way up there, and then there's a blade, there's another blade, and the other blade looks like it's sticking off, going up towards the upper left. Wow. That must have been something to see. Holy moly. It's kind of sad. It feels like all of his brothers and sister wind turbines are in mourning, and they're like, oh, one of our brothers fell. Which sounds kind of weird, I know, but you kind of get that feeling that there's like 125 of these and one of them has died. And I've come out here and shot the heck out of them, and wow, that's a trip. Anyway, see you in the next segment. Well, that was absolutely amazing. I was able to get up fairly close, and I used my EM1X to shoot some video, so you'll see that just before this little segment. But looks like total mental fatigue. I couldn't get close because there's a security guy here, and there is the yellow do not cross tape going around it, which is probably for my own good, because that could fall either way, left or right, I imagine. But I sure would like to get close to it to actually see just how big those things are. But yeah, that's something you do not see every day, or even in a long time. I mean, how often does a wind turbine dethrone itself, you know? Wow. Okay, well that worked out good. I'm able to converse with the Border Patrol boys. They're so cool. because I can put the window down about 5 inches or so before the camera mount stops it, which is okay. And if I want to also get some air during some off-road, that would be okay too. So what I'm going to try with this video is doing picture-in-picture. So I'm simultaneously recording on my EM5 Mark III on the dash, which you've seen so many times before. But then some people are like, how come we can't see you? And I'm like, well, first of all, if the Fed saw my face, then, you know, it's just like being put up on the post office. I'm kidding. It's a joke. Anyway, so I'm trying this out, and hopefully my mom can see this. Hi, Mom. And hi, Diane. And we'll see how it works out. So the next stop is, it's called Palm Canyon, I think. And what it has is a restroom, which is kind of nice, before I head off to my hiking place, which has no restroom. So yeah, so see you on the next segment. So what we got going on here today is, I just met a guy on the road. He's had 2 blowouts today, and he's got, some guy helped him put a spare in one, but the spare ended up blowing out, and he can only do a couple miles an hour. So the Border Patrol, I mean, they're back this way. They've got to only be about 3 or 4 miles or something. And so I'm going to go back to the Border Patrol and see if they can help this guy. And then I'll go back and make sure he's got water and stuff. And then I'll continue on my way. But yeah, so I feel sorry for the guy. His name is Ward. He must be 90. I don't know. He's an old guy. He looks like an old miner from out here in the desert, you know. He should be walking out in the desert with a burro full of gold mining pots and pans and stuff. But anyway, here we are on our mission to help out a fellow human being. So see you on the next segment. Well, I went to the Border Patrol, and this old guy, not really old, but he's a big old guy, and he's like, well, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, well, you got a radio, can't you like phone for emergency services or something? And so he's like, well, we just can't call a tow truck because nobody will pay for it. And so I'm going to go back and talk to the old guy, see what he's got going on, and changes my plans for the day, but it's in a good way. How often do you get to help somebody in distress, you know? So I'm going to go back. So far I have a 4G signal, because he was asking, does he have a cell phone? Does he have money? And I'm like, you know, I didn't ask those questions. Maybe you could come back and kind of check him out. You know, what would have been really good is if I told him, hey, this guy's he's running drugs, he's got guns, I saw him. They'd be there in a flash. But I don't want to do that, because I like keeping a good rapport with the Border Patrol. So okay, so we'll see what happens. Well, that turned out really good. The big officer guy, he's going to help out the old guy, and I'll continue on my way. Right now I'm headed to a restroom, and this is where I've taken you before for the palm trees. This is all pretty cool, and this is also a test for the Olympus Tracker TG. See how it does with vibrations. I mean, I could see it vibrating, and I'm trying to avoid the washboard. Yeah, I know, I hear you, sweetheart. Put my seatbelt on. But this is the one time that I could be a rebel, and I don't have to wear a seatbelt. But anyway, so that all turned out pretty good. I know the guy's going to be in good hands now. He's not going to be stranded out here because it's going to get really, really hot in a while. And so that turned out well. And I can continue on my quest. So I will see you on the next segment. Well, I'm on one of my favorite little dirt roads, and it looks like there hasn't been anybody here for quite a while. And it also looks like we've had the rain, and so far so good. It hasn't been washed out. Go up over these hills, over this dale. Look out for that big rock. The Border Patrol gentleman was telling me that he had to rescue 3 college boys in a Toyota Prius, of all things, on a dirt road, and they hit a rock and broke the bead of their tire. He ended up having to drive them to El Centro, which is really far away, and that was pretty big, magnanimous thing that officer did for those kids. And I hope it cost them a bundle so they'd learn not to do stupid things like that. I mean, a Prius is meant for annoying people in the fast lane on freeways, right? So anyway, here back on my dirt road, and so far so good. The doesn't look washed out. There's a couple places where I could see it came through because there was some rains that came through maybe last week or the week before. I haven't been on this dirt road in quite a few weeks. As you know, I've been doing some other roading around, and off that way is a really nice canyon. I call it Cathedral Canyon because there is one of the walls of the canyon looks like a cathedral straight out of England or France or something like that, with the spires, and it's just really neat place. Pretty good walk. It's about a 2-mile round trip, but today we're doing the flatlands because of my knee. It's still hurting, and so I'm gonna take some aspirin, and then I'll go on a hike, and I'll take you along. So what do you think? Sound good? All right, so see you in the next segment. So here's where I'm going to spend most of my day, I think. This all looks pretty cool, and it's pretty darn warm. As you can see, that sun is glaring. I'm not sure what it is in the shade. It's probably only about 90 in the shade, but I think what we got going on here, it's really nice in the shade. There's a breeze. You can hear this beautiful tree. Yeah, been here for a long time. Go away, fly. And this is where I camped at one point. Had my tent right here, and then it's my chair, and that was my campfire there, and out there was the beautiful stars. Oh yeah, it was an amazing night. Got to do that again, but I'm not gonna go out here when it's like 90 some odd degrees. I'm gonna wait another month, and then we're gonna come out. And so yeah, this is where we're gonna spend the day, right here, and I'll see you in a while. Well folks, I think that's it for the day. It's showing, my little ghost hunting thermometer says 90 degrees in the shade, but once you get out in the sun it's like 2 million. And I've hiked for about an hour. My watch says I've hiked over 7,000 steps, I think. And let's check that out. Yeah, almost 8,000 steps. That's pretty good for a hurting left leg, but I just, you know, it's kind of like a headache. You just kind of start ignoring it. And so we are going to head back home, and I think there's some beer in my future because I worked off a lot of sweat today. I know, because usually when I do these hikes, I can lose up to 4 pounds depending on how far I go. So today was probably a 2-pounder day. I think I reached my limit and didn't have to throw any back. And so I really want to thank you all for riding along. This has been kind of a short one. It's a tryout for a long trip to see Mom, because I've got all my camera equipment in it, and I have all my laptops and all my external hard drives, because I just wanted to see how the car felt with that weight in there. And then I threw in a suitcase full of clothes just to see how the car felt, and the car felt really good. And I guess the only thing I didn't bring was a tent and the kitchen sink, but all in all, a good test. And I think this is definitely going to be the car to go see Mom instead of using the Marauder. So anyway, I want to thank you for hanging out with me on another ride along with Randy, and I'll see you on the next adventure.